Hello, everyone. We are live tonight. I am Cheryl from JJ Bean Designs. If you are watching, you are probably on either my page or you're on Junction's page. Do me a favor, when you come on, please let us know which page you're watching, where you're from, and let's get this started. So I had originally put out during this week that today we were going to do something a little different. Instead of actually painting on screen, we're going to have a live Q&A, as well as a huge announcement that I will be waiting until we get through some of our Q&A, and then I'll make the announcement on what we're going to do. When you come on, do me a favor, say hi. If you have any questions, please let me know. Type them in on your comments. I'll see them, and what will happen is I will actually highlight your comment. The other people will be able to see your comment and know how I am answering them, okay? So I did have a lot of responses actually for questions asking different things about products that we are offering over at Junction 71. So in case you're not aware, we offer personally through JJ Bean Designs, we offer Dixie Belle paints, Would You Bend, Redesign with Prima, and we now have Hocus Pocus transfers, which I can't wait to share those with you guys tonight. We may be getting another mold company in. And we also offer chalkboard brushes. So those are the products that we at JJ Bean offer. Now we do have other people at Junction that do offer other stuff. So one of the great paints that they offer, and it's I love Dixie Belle, but if somebody said to me, you can't paint with Dixie Belle anymore, what are you going to paint with? It would be Bungalow 47. So Silly Jilly is over there, and she has her Bungalow 47. And then as a secondary paint, which is not there, it's a different type of paint. So there's mineral paints and then there's chalk mineral paints. There's a mineral paint that we offer there, and it is actually fusion paints as well. So I'm really excited about all the paints that we have to offer. I wanted to get that out there, the products that we do offer. And if you have questions, I really want you to ask me your questions. Tonight, we want to get all your questions about what we're offering as far as our products, any techniques that you've seen on the furniture in the store, as well as on my page that you're having questions about. But I will tell you, I had about 20 different emails, and every single one of them, I shouldn't say every, probably 3/4 of them were the same exact question. What is the difference between Slick Stick and Boss? All right, so in case you don't know, Dixie Belle has two different products. They're basically primer products, all right? Let me explain when you need them, when you don't need them. I don't know if you can see, I'm trying to turn so you guys can see them. You probably can't read because they're backwards, but so this is, I'm backwards, Slick Stick, and this is Boss. All right. You do not have to prime your furniture with any of the paint products that we offer in the store, whether it be Dixie Belle, Fusion, or Bungalow 47, except there's a few different exceptions that you will definitely always have to prime your furniture with. Prime your furniture. If you have raw wood that actually has like a reddish tint to it, you're going to want to prime. And what you're going to want to prime with, so people chose different primers. I personally, my favorite to use is actually, I want to make sure I touch the right one, Boss. So, and I personally use Boss White, and I'll tell you why. Because the clear takes approximately 3 coats. And with the Boss White, you can do it in 2 coats. So the way that Boss works is you put it on, you let it dry, then you put a second coat. I personally let it dry overnight, so before I start painting. Now, when do you need Boss? You need Boss when you have, or any other primer. You can use different primers. You can use a shellac primer. I know Bungalow has a primer, and I believe Fusion has a primer that you can use as well. So you don't have to stick with Dixie Belle. Obviously, that's what I use. I just believe in this one very much. So the way that it works is if you're using a red, a mahogany, an old wood that you can tell it's just like, it doesn't have like a top coat on it very much. You just know that it's almost going onto the raw wood. I always use Boss at that point, okay? If your piece is a dark wood, is a red wood, and it doesn't have that rawness to it, then you know what? You don't need to actually use the Boss. It is only for when it's possibly going to bleed through. When else would you use the Boss? If you have a really stinky piece of furniture. Okay, so example, you pick up an old piece, it's got a musty smell to it, and you need to get that smell out of it. What you're going to use is you're going to use Boss. Boss is actually stands for, I'll read it to you, blocks odors, stains, stops bleed through. It helps block those odors that are coming through on the furniture before you paint it, all right? And I'm going to go a little bit further with the odors. If you're having odors in your furniture, I do the outside with the Boss, and I do inside the drawers and anywhere else, and I'm not putting paint with Mama's Butter. And I use the Orange Grove myself. I prefer the orange smell. There is one that's a floral smell, and there's an unscented as well. But they do block the odors and help with the scent. I personally would use the orange because it's my thing. All right, so now let's get to why would you use Slick Stick? Slick Stick is an adhesion primer, okay? If you're gonna paint something, I don't know if you guys can see this desk here. This is a laminate top desk. If I was gonna paint this, I would paint with Slick Stick because it's an adhesion that's gonna make the paint actually stick to the desk, okay? You use an adhesion primer when you're painting on glass, when you're painting on metal. Some people have done it on marble tops. Anything that has a slicker surface that is not wood, you're going to use Slick Stick. Exception, flower pots. I don't do them on flower pots because I actually usually seal the flower pot with a sealer before I even paint, so I don't even have to worry about it. All right, so those are the difference between Slick Stick and Boss. If you have any questions about Slick Stick and Boss, do me a favor, type them into our comments so that I can go ahead and answer those for you. See a couple people on said hi. Hey, Tracy. Hey, Evelyn. Hey, Lisa. How are you doing? I do see quite a bit of people on tonight. Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to go over a few more questions that we had. All right. The next question I had was, how long between coats of paint do you wait to paint? So I want to say it's a matter of preference, but it is and it isn't. So let me explain that, what I mean by that. So no matter what, you should always wait till your first coat a coat of paint dries. Me, I'm impatient. I blow dry it because I want it to dry faster than it's supposed to. But you should always wait for that first coat to dry. For me personally, I lightly sand with a 220 sanding pad between my coats. So I like it to really be dry before I put that second coat on. Plus, I want that second coat to be really, really smooth when I go to put it on. I like that buttery feel that I have. All right. So does everybody wait for them to completely dry? No. Especially when you're blending. So when you're blending, there's times that you don't want that coat to really dry completely, and you're going to actually blend it up while it's still wet. But on the basic painting of furniture, you're going to wait for that first coat to dry. Now, everybody says to me, well, how do you know if it's dry, right? You touch it. When you touch it, it's dry. Plus, when you're looking at chalk paint, you can actually look at it and actually see how it dries. If you look at it, you can see like the sheen of the actual wet paint. So then you'll know that it's dry. All right. Next question. Let me say hi to everybody first. Heidi. Hey, Heidi. Hey, Lori. How you doing? All right. The next thing, a question that I had was, where do I find furniture to paint? That's a really good question. I find it everywhere. If you ask my husband, I find it on the side of the road, that I am an addict and that all I do is search to pick up furniture. I don't look at it being an addict. I think I'm being thrifty. All right, so I look at Facebook Marketplace. I look at Craigslist. I use Let It Go. And also, I have a lot of family and friends that'll say, they'll message me, hey, I'm getting rid of this piece of furniture. Do you want it? Do you think you can do something with it? And that's a big thing for me. That's where I get a lot of my furniture from. When I go to pick furniture, I always, all right, I'm lying. I don't always. I try to get ones that don't need a ton of fixing on them. Like there's no pieces missing, shelves missing. And I'm laughing because I'm saying this to you, and just past the camera is a piece that my husband had to put a back on for me because I bought it and it was missing. It must have like a mirror or something on the back of it, and I just decided I wanted to do something with it. So that'll be actually a fun design. You guys will get to see. I'm doing some stenciling and some molds and all different things on it. So I try and look for pieces that I know that I can paint that people are going to want to see in their homes. So tend to not have too much peeling if it has veneer on it. I will go through a class one day online teaching you how to fix veneer that's peeling, how to peel up veneer that you don't want anymore. I've been doing that a lot lately, and whew, let me tell you. But that's where I find my furniture. That being said, there's a bunch of us in the shop that all paint furniture. Anybody that's watching, you have pieces that you want to get rid of, that you just need to get out of your house, you want one of us to paint them for you, just reach out to the shop, reach out to any of us at the shop, and I'm sure one of us would love to take a look at what you're offering and see what we can do with it. All right, I'm marking this off as I'm going. Hey, Donna, how you doing? I just realized how I keep saying, how you doing? That's how my son says it. How you doing? Or my stepson. All right. So one of the other things, the questions that I had was, how do you apply the gator hide so that it doesn't streak? So one of the things that happens is gator hide will streak. I've tried. If I was to tell you that there's an easy way to do it, it's non-streakable, I'd be lying, because I do a lot of gator hide and I still get it to streak unless I spray it. You have to spray it in order to get it to not streak. But the thing with gator hide, and this is our gator hide, by the way, and I'll explain to you exactly what it is for those of you who don't know what gator hide is. Gator hide is actually our waterproof, and it is actually, it's our waterproof top coat. So anything like a top to a furniture, or just anything that's going to get a lot of touching and playing with it, tops of a desk, you like to gator hide it because it's a really durable. It is like nails. It's like hard as nails when you put it on. All right. So how do I do it? This is where it gets really fun. This is my favorite top coat go-to. I've also used Varathane. I've used the Bungalow. Bungalow has a really nice flat top coat. I've used theirs. Now this is my go-to. So what I do with gator hide is, the first thing I do is, this is our sponge. All right, this is a blue sponge. It's a high dense sponge. I'm going to put it a little close so you can see it. Can you see how dense that is? We do offer these at the shop. I actually put a coat of my satin on first. And how I do it is I pour this into a little bowl. I dip that into that just like this. And then I go across it, and I put at least one coat of this on, sometimes two. If I feel like it's a piece that I really, really want to make sure, like really dark paints and stuff, I will do two. I let that dry. I don't just let it dry. I let it dry overnight, because I really want to have that top coat really, really dry before I start putting the gator hide. Then, by the way, these are reusable, so I wash this out, and then I do the same thing with the gator hide. I put it into a bowl. I use the sponge. I dip it into the bowl, and I go one direction. You don't put it on like this. A lot of your top coats, if you do that, you're going to streak. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to put it on one direction, long strokes, another direction, long strokes, another direction, long strokes. This will give you a nice surface, and it helps you put the gator hide on so that it keeps it nice and hard and cured. I put 2 coats of gator hide, so it's a total of 4 coats of a top coat on top of a piece. All right, so that is our gator hide. Hey, Rhonda. Oh, our girl, our social media guru from Junction is online. You guys gotta love her. If you guys haven't met Rhonda yet, come and check her out. She's definitely got some great stuff in her space too. All right, the other thing that I had a question on, somebody asked me, how do I clean my furniture? Very well. That's the way you clean your furniture, very well. All right, no matter what you do to paint your furniture, no matter what products you use, no matter what you paint with, whether you make your own paints, whether you buy paints, you buy latex, you buy chalk, you buy mineral, you have to prep your furniture. If you do not prep your furniture, you will not have a nice coat on the outside. It will not come out how you want it to. All right, so how do you prep your furniture? You have to clean it very, very well. How do I clean my furniture? I use this stuff, right? I keep turning. I can't get used to this thing being backwards. I prep my furniture with white lightning. All right, so why do I use White Lightning? Can you see this jar? So this right here is an 8-ounce jar, right? One, or actually they say 2 teaspoons actually to a gallon. So if there's 2 teaspoons to a gallon, or tablespoons, I'm sorry, to a gallon, imagine how long this thing lasts, right? So what I do is I get a big spray bottle and I actually do 1 and I mix it with the water and I keep it in my spray bottle. And before I paint any of my furniture, I spray it down really good with the White Lightning solution that I've made. I scrub it with like a scrubby pad all over. You will see the junk coming off of it. Like when you look at your furniture and go, yeah, that thing is so clean. I don't think I'm gonna have to clean it. And then when you go to use this, you go, oh my God, look how dirty that furniture was. So once you use the White Lightning, you need to take hot water and you have to take a hot rag and you wash it off. You have to clean the White Lightning off because it is still a chemical. You don't want a chemical underneath your product. Somebody said to me, well, I use vinegar and water. Will that work? Of course it'll work. The reason I don't use vinegar and water, and the only reason why, is because it's a lot more scrubbing for me to get it to where I need it to go, where this does it with a lot less scrubbing and just kind of takes it off. So White Lightning. All right. The next question I got is brushes. I am so excited about our brushes. You have no idea. All right. So you guys want to know my go-to brushes? I have several go-to brushes, but I also, as part of our announcement tonight, is something I have to go over with brushes. So I'll give you that part of the announcement early. So, hey, Jennifer. Hey, Denise. All right. So we also carry Chalk Pro brushes. These are my 2 go-to Chalk Pro brushes. I love Chalk Pro brushes. They're very soft. They work just as well as any of the expensive brands, if not better, for a quantity, like a portion of the price. So Chalk Pro brushes are mine. So when you open up a brush, I show every time I'm at the store and I'm working and somebody's there and they go to buy a brush, I go through this. I want to get a newer one so I can show you because that one's pretty broken. These are pretty broken in. This one actually I've only used once. You can see where I use like a red so you can see the thing. All right. So when you open up your brushes, before any brush, whether it's my brushes from Home Depot, brushes from anywhere, okay, this is how you're going to prep your brush. You're going to take it open. You're going to actually smack it around on your hand. Why are you doing that? You want to get all the extra bristles that have not been attached into the ferrule out. If you don't do that, you can chance to have bristles shed. Now, these are not very shedding paint brushes. Happens more with like a natural bristle brush than the synthetics. This is a synthetic, but you still want to do it. And then I also take them and I wash them really well with hot soapy water. And then I rinse them really well to get all the soap out of it because I don't want any residue on my brushes. When I go to dry them, you dry them upside down like this. I usually take a towel and I kind of press into it like a paper towel or like a microfiber towel, press into it, and then I hang them upside down, and that's how they dry. So one of our announcements that I'm going on tonight is I just got a notification tonight that we are actually in the next few weeks going to be offering zebra brushes as well. If you guys haven't tried them, they're a white filament. They're very thin bristles, so they go on very nice. And I know that's Heidi's go-to, and I see her on here tonight. So we're actually going to be able to offer zebra brushes at our store. So those of you guys that use them, we will have them at the store for you. Yay! All right, so those are all of the questions that I had on emails. Do I have any other questions out there that you might have for me regarding anything that I've talked about? Hey, Cheryl. So while I'm waiting for the questions to come through, because they do take just a couple minutes, there's a little bit of a delay. I want to show you guys what we just got in that we're going to be offering. And these, actually, I haven't got them. They're actually going to be in the next couple weeks. These are our Hocus Pocus transfers. Those of you guys that use transfers, you'll know that these are really fun. Now, the difference between these and redesign is some of them are a lot smaller. Like this is a smaller one. And then some of them are still the same size. Look at that beauty. This is actually right up Rhonda's alley. Rhonda, what do you think of that one? So we're going to be offering all different designs. They should be in within the next 2 to 3 weeks, and I'm super excited. However, if there is something that you see that you want, please let us know because we're going to be putting orders in weekly. If would like to, go through our website, take a look at JJ Bean Designs, and let us know which ones you like. We can go from there. All right. And then here, so Michaela said, that's okay, you can ask any questions you want. Do you use chalk paint to paint most of your furniture? I do. I know some people use latex, just regular stuff, but I actually use a chalk or mineral paint. I like I said, it's either Dixie Belle, Bungalow 47, or Fusion. Those are the 3 paints that I use on my furniture. Now you're gonna ask me, how do I decide which one? Typically, my go-to is Dixie Belle. However, I like some of the colors with Bungalow 47 that Dixie Belle doesn't offer. So I use Bungalow 47 for those colors. And then Fusion, I tend to use only when I'm using a solid color. So if it's just one exact color throughout the whole piece, I'll use Fusion, only because of the way that, and it also has to be a piece that doesn't have any Mars in it, if you know what I mean. Like, it has a super smooth surface for me, only because I am a perfectionist. And if I see a little bit of a mar, I just can't. And Dixie Belle and Bungalow 47 are a much more forgiving paint. So if somebody's painting, it's much more forgiving for you to be able to paint with. So I just got another one. So I hope, Michaela, that actually answers your question. And then Donna G said, I'm not a creative bone in my body. Oh yeah, you could do, it doesn't have to be creative. Watch some of the videos on here, watch them online. You can learn a lot of stuff on here with all the different videos and things. You know what I mean? Yeah. Michaela, you are very welcome. Very, very welcome. While I'm gonna go over a couple other things real quick, just a few little announcements. And then from there, I'll answer more questions here and there between the announcements. So the first one is on Wednesday. I've had a lot of people asking me, when are you going to do molds? This is the Avery mold. Unfortunately, they're sold out. This is my only one, and I'm using it on a project. I'm hoping these come back in. Let me show you what they look like. Everybody's been asking me, can you do a class or can you do a live showing how to do the molds? So this is what they look like when they come in. And this is our molds right here. So they're a silicone mold, so they bend and they move everything else. I am going to be doing a class on, I'm going to be doing a live, on Wednesday on the Redesign with Kramer group, and Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. If you can join me, that would be great. I'm going to go over exactly how to do molds, what I use to do them, how I put them on, what materials I use to actually make them. So we're actually going to do flower pots. I was going to do it on furniture, but then I thought about it. Everybody does furniture. Let's do it on something else. So we're going to be doing flower pots. And I will share it on my page after, and then so you guys can kind of find out. So if you follow JJ Bean Designs, if you're not watching on JJ Bean Designs, follow me, and you'll be able to see the different lives. Michaela said, I'll be coming to the store soon for paint advice, or Tima said that I'm going to repaint. That's great. There are people at the store that can give you advice, Michaela, on, put this on here, that can give you advice on what you need to do your entertainment center if I'm not there, because I'm not there all the time. So, and if you have a question that you feel like you just need a little bit more, you're not at the store, you can email me or message me at any time. You can go right through JJ Bean and message me there. I have a lot of people that message me through there, and I answer their questions for them, no problem. I love when other people want to learn. So don't think you're ever bothering me. Just send me a message. All right. All right. I have a question from Cheryl. Hey, Cheryl. I just love her. All right. Can you add would you bend to something when it's already been painted? Also, how long do you wait between coats of Boss, and do you sand between all coats? All right. Great questions. So the first one, would you bend? Yes, I've added would you bend after I painted. I like to add it before I paint for obvious, because I like to get a base coat. A lot of times I'll use a darker color on the would you bend so that when I paint, it actually brings the details out. But you can add it after you paint it. You can actually paint it before you add it. It's kind of a pain in the butt, but you can actually paint the would you bend before you add it as well. And that being said, somebody asked me I just remembered that somebody asked me, how do I apply it? That's why I have this here. This is what I use. I use the Type On 2, which is a water resistant interior exterior. This is what I use to put my wood bend, to put my molds on, to put everything on. It's a quick dry, so it makes sure they stay on. I do use blue tape sometimes to hold them on, but that's what I use. All right, how long do you wait between coats of Boss, and do you sand between all coats? I wait for the dry, so it's usually at least an hour to 2 hours, depending on the humidity that's in my garage. I am lucky enough in my workshop / garage that it is climate controlled, so I tend to not have a lot of humidity. So how fast your paint or anything else you're doing is going to be based on the humidity. So I just kind of like visualize that it's dry. It's at least usually an hour to 2 hours. If I'm not in a rush to get the piece done, I'll let it sit overnight, do the second piece, and then let that sit. I'll do it in the morning and then let it sit all day, and then I'll paint. I do let it dry quite a bit after the second coat because I want it to be really dry and I want it to do what it needs to do for me, which is prime. And do I sand between the coats? No, I don't sand between the coats of the Boss or the Slick Stick. Okay, except for an exception. If when I'm using my brush, I notice that it gives me a lot of brush strokes, which would mean that I just didn't clean my brush right before I started, I will sometimes do a light sanding between after the first coat before I do the second coat, so the second coat goes on a little smoother. You'll notice that when you put on that second coat, a lot of the like the Mars, and like I say Mar, or the different things that show when you're painting on the first coat kind of goes away on the second coat with our paint, as well as with the brush, with the sand, with just the way that you put it on. And I do not sand, like I said, for any of the other coats, so that I don't do. Hey, Laura, somebody else just came on. Hey, Laura, how you doing? All right, so another question I had. Where do I get my bottles? So when I'm doing my live, people see my stuff in my bottles, and I used to use FIFOs, but the problem is they kept clogging. So when they clog, it kind of stinks because you're like squeezing on, all of a sudden it just goes poof, and it explodes out. So I watched AJ from AJ's Vintage Designs, Amy. She's amazing. If you haven't followed her, or Brandy from Brush by Brandy, or CC Hunt from CC Restyle. Check out their pages. Great stuff, learning stuff. As a matter of fact, I'll be giving a link to Brandy is an affiliate for the resin that I'm going to be using for molds. So I'll be giving a link with a code off, a discount code that she's provided for me to give to you guys on Wednesday night. So you guys will get to use her code. All right, but these right here, I actually get them off Amazon. They're really simple. They're cheap. They're like kitchen bottles. The only thing, they come with this little silver thing I have to pop out from the other side. But I just put my paints in here, put them in, close it. Make sure you close it really well before you shake it. Sue, I don't know if Sue's on tonight, but Sue actually did hers, and then she didn't have it open. She got kind of paint everywhere. But that's where I get these bottles. So Michaela said, what is the name of your page again? The name of my page is JJ Bean Designs. So it's also in the description. If you scroll to the top of the video, it'll show in the description all of our different social media. Sue says what? Sue had told me when she first got the FIFOs, she shook her bottles and they came out. So don't tell me what. You know what you see in my mud. Hey, Sandy. Sue is on. That's my Susie Q. All right. So while we're waiting for more questions, I have another announcement. So this Thursday at Junction, we have It's Coming Up Rosé wine. Woo-hoo! Who doesn't like some wine and some shopping, right? All right. So it is this Thursday at 6 p.m. at Junction. We're calling it our socially distant social. Masks are required. We just want people to be safe while they're shopping in our store. And it is 10% sales throughout the store. I have a cheat sheet here. Sorry, guys. I have to read off it. I just didn't want to forget anything. 10% sales throughout the store, plus additional markdowns and clearance. All right. We're going to have wine and apps outdoors, so people will be outside when they want to eat and take off their masks and do things. We will make sure that everybody is safe. We hope that everybody can make it. Again, Thursday at 6 o'clock at Junction. It's coming up rosé. You don't have to like wine to be there. You just have to like deals. Deals and fun. So come on out. I will be there, by the way. If you have questions about Dixie Belle or any of the other stuff that's going on there, just come on in. I will be there to answer any questions that you have on Thursday night at 6 o'clock, 6 to 8. All right. So since I don't see any other questions here, I'm going to go to the last huge announcement that we have. So if anybody you guys saw on my page as well as Junction's page, we had a glass event the other night. Look how cute these are. These are what we painted. We painted a sunflower. I'm doing it backwards. Sunflower. And we did a mermaid. However, we realized that people actually still aren't comfortable coming out to an event, even though we were social distancing, wearing masks, as far as for sitting down together for a long period. Plus, everybody just enjoys being home. We've all been home for so long. We enjoy creating at home, right? So this is what we're going to be doing. Starting, I'll be announcing it next week with the first design. I'm actually going to show you the first design tonight, but I'll be announcing the dates. Twice a month, we're going to be doing virtual glass painting parties. So what'll happen is you will go ahead and choose your glasses. You'll have 2 dates. There'll be 2 designs a month, 2 dates. Both designs will be taught on both nights. And you'll get to choose from a stemless glass, a regular wine glass, or a pint glass, because I know not everybody drinks the wine. I'm trying to get my hands on some glass coffee mugs as well, because I'd like to offer the coffee mugs. So what happens, you'll get 2 glasses, the paints that you need, the brushes you need. I'll give you a list of the things that you need at home, which would be like paper towels, cup to rinse in, things like that. And then we'll have a group set up for each date, and whichever date you choose to be on, you'll get added to that private group. And then you'll have 30 days from the date that you're actually added to the group from when it happens to be able to paint your glasses and go back and do more and check it out. So what happens is you'll go online or go into the store and order your kit. It'll get delivered within the next 2 days. It's usually 2 to 3 days. The actual supplies will be at the store for you. And then you just log on. Like, how fun is that? That's all you got to do, right? All right, so here's a little sneak peek of the first glass that we're going to be doing. This is one of the new fall glasses. So this is so cute, right? It's our autumn leaves glass. And then this is the bottom. It's got like that iridescent look to it. We're going to be doing one more. And then, like I said, every month will be 2 different designs that you'll get the option to choose from at both events. All right, so it'll be twice a month. I'm pretty excited about this, guys. And if they work out well, we'll start doing virtual events, maybe with some of our other vendors that want to do things and the same thing. So it would be nice to have everybody having a fun time with the Junction crew, right? Who doesn't want to have fun with the Junction crew? All right, so I do have another question. Oh, Cheryl said, oh, I love that. I love that too. All right, so Cheryl said, if you're trying to make something old, would you use wax or glaze? All right, so that's actually a preference as well. So for me personally, I use wax. I'm not a glaze person. So for me, I can use wax, or what else I do is I will water down paints to use as a glaze, or I'll use some of our Voodoo gel stains as a glaze. The actual glazes, the only ones that I use typically for me, it's just because it's my preference. It's all in a preference. I like the pearlescent glazes because it gives like a little bit of a zing to it. So one of our vanities that I did, the whole vanity set with the sunflowers, that's actually got a pearlescent glaze across it because it gives that shimmer and sheen to it that I wanted. But as far as the old look, I personally use wax. And I do know some other people use glaze. Maybe one day I'll jump out of my comfort zone and use the glaze instead. I don't know. I'm just really a fan of the wax. I have used dirt at times as well, but I don't like that you can't control the dirt. And everybody's asking, what do you mean dirt outside? No. So Dixie Belle has this stuff. It's like a powder. It looks like it's called Dixie Belle Dirt, and it's all different colors, like earth tones. They have brown, they have a gray, they have like it's a charcoal, they have a black, and it's all because you can use it for shading and stuff on your furniture. The one tip I am going to give you, if you use Wax or glaze. Anytime you wax or glaze your furniture and using it as a highlighting piece, not to seal your furniture, but as a highlighting, you want to seal your furniture first and then use it. The reason being is if you put it right directly onto the paint will absorb that wax and you can't remove it if you make a mistake. If you put it on after you've sealed and you don't like where it's at, I take a little bit of baby wipes and I just wipe it back a little bit. And you can do that onto the sealer, so that onto the top coat, so it doesn't actually hurt anything. I hope that answered your question, Cheryl. And then Sue said, look what Sue said. She's so right. Look at her cute little granddaughter in that picture. Oh my gosh. So also, you can get a few friends together at your home to do it together. Yes. So how cool. So you have your friends over. You're like, hey, you know, I'm not sure if I feel comfortable hanging out for 2 hours around tables with a bunch of strangers, but hey, how about 6, 8, 10 of my friends come over, we get all of our kits at Junction and we all log in on that same night together and watch it and paint together. How cool is that? I will be painting along with you so I can show you how to paint it as we go. I know one of the girls that's on here, Tracy, we did a birdhouse event together with her and her friends. That went awesome. So yeah, but great idea, Sue. And then Rhonda said, great idea. Thanks, Rhonda. I appreciate that. And Jennifer, thanks, Jennifer. Thanks. All right. So does anybody have any other questions about stuff going on that maybe you need me to answer for you? All right. Well, it looks like it's getting a little quieter. So we're not having any more questions. I did have one more question that was asked of me. What is sea spray? It's funny because I can always tell when one of the brand ambassadors are using something, because all of a sudden I get a lot of questions on how to use something. So one of them actually must have used sea spray on this. Sea spray is an additive that you put into your paints. You can see it right here. You put into your paints and it gives texture to a piece. So if you look on my page, you'll see where I did some flower pots with it. So I take it and I actually dab it on. It gives it like that really good texture. And it says right on here exactly how to mix it. You can also use this to make like paste that you want to do. So say you're doing a raised stencil. I use Dixie Mud for raised stencil, but you can also take this and add it to a paste, just a little bit, enough to make it a paste that you can spread onto your stencil, and it makes a raised stencil, a raised colored stencil. So I'm actually going to use it into some metallics and make some raised stencils. Maybe I'll do it as a live so I can show everybody how to do it. Sue asked me to go over the oil. So we have called How Do You Do Hemp Oil. Hemp oil is a great product to use on your furniture, on your wood, or on your paints. The way that it works is I brush it on. Some people actually wipe it on, but I brush it on. You let it sit, and your wood or your furniture will only absorb how much it'll take. So what happens is you put it on, it'll look super oily, but then as it absorbs through the night, it becomes matte, and you'll see like different areas that are still oily. You just go by with a rag and you wipe it off, and it's good. I don't use it on lighter ones, on lighter colors, because it can yellow on the lighter colors, but I do use it on my dark colors because it's just a great sealer. And Sue said, hemp oil used as a sealer. How long do you need to wait after using it? Hemp oil, just like anything else. So it has a 30-day cure period. So I get frustrated when paints will say, oh, well, you don't need a top coat and it seals on its own. Every one of the paints seal on their own, just to let you know. And Pam is killing me. Stop it, Pam. So all of the paints basically seal on their own anyways. They all cure within 30 days. Any acrylic, any latex, they seal on their own. Even your wall paints that you put on your wall do not fully cure for 30 days. What is curing? So curing is actually the moisture in the water coming out of the paints to make it a solid structure that sticks to things. So for example, when you do glasses, like these glasses, you bake them in the oven. Yeah, just like a cake. Isn't that crazy? Because what happens is that the heat actually takes the moisture out and bakes it so that it sticks to the glass. If I didn't want to bake it, I could just wait 30 days and this thing will be ready to go. but they allow you to bake this in the oven. So 30 days, anytime, no matter what you put on, whether it's wax, hemp oil, even a top coat, it's still not going to be cured for at least 30 days. So anybody that tells you different, full baloney. All right. All right. Karen. Hi, Karen. Will slick stick work if I have a piece that is finished with wax? I want to, oh, no. So you have to take mineral spirits and you have to take your wax off. You can't paint over, well, that's not true. Do me a favor, Karen, let me know how long has the wax been on there? Because what I would do is probably lightly sand and then put it on. If it's something that you waxed, and it hasn't been at least 30 days, you kind of have to take mineral spirits to get wax off. But if it's something that you have that was waxed originally, but you want to paint it a different color, as long as it has been past the 30 days, I would just rough it up just a little bit, just to scuff it, and then go ahead and paint. I don't think you need to slick stick. I wouldn't slick stick. I think it would be just fine without a problem. So Pam has teased me about my raspy voice. I started losing my voice last night. I think I was just getting too excited yelling at my Alexa. Anybody else have a problem with their Alexa? I know anybody who was at my house last night is going to laugh about this. I could not get, for the life of me, to understand why, when I asked my Alexa that was outside where we were all sitting to play music, it kept playing it in the house. And then it was just, I was getting really frustrated. Anyways, now I have a raspy voice. So it's a joke with everybody that was in my house last night. All right. Do we have any more questions that I can answer? All right. So I'm going to recap on our announcements. We're going to have zipper brushes. It's going to be a few weeks, but we're going to have zipper brushes. I will make an announcement, and hopefully we can share it with Junction 2 as soon as we have zipper brushes. I'm also trying to get my hands on some artist brushes to be able to offer artist brushes for you guys that do details. I personally like the brushes that we use on glassware and stuff. I personally use artist brushes on my furniture too, because I paint different things, especially my molds. So we'll be able to offer artist brushes at the store as well eventually. I'm working on that. Hocus Pocus. Woo, woo! Loving Hocus Pocus. Look at how cute this one is. Isn't that adorable? We have a girlfriend of ours in our group that loves shoes. Like, this is her all day long. Those will be in hopefully in the next 2 weeks. As soon as they're in, we'll let you know. If you would like to pre-order them so they don't sell out, because I have to tell you, I've already got pre-orders for things that we have coming in, go to our website at jjbeandesigns.com. So the S, jjbeandesigns.com, and pre-order the ones that you want, because they are already selling out. People are waiting for these. They're new to the United States. We are the only retailer for a 10-mile distance that will be offering them. So you won't be able to get them anywhere else locally. So if you want them, go to our website and pre-order them. The third is our virtual paint parties. Woo! So those are going to be great. Twice a month, 2 designs. As soon as our first one's ready and our first dates, look at some like, I will let you know. And the last one, and one of the most important ones, is Thursday night. I hope to see you guys all at Junction for Everything's Coming Up Rose. It's our socially distancing social. 6 o'clock, mask required, food and drinks outside so that you can take your mask off to drink. And 10% sales throughout the store, plus clearance and summer markdowns. Yay! You know what that means? That means fall is coming. I know people love summer, but I love fall. I love fall, so I can't wait. I will be there to answer any questions about the paint, the brushes, the transfers, anything that you have, all right? I hope everybody has a wonderful night, and I'll see you guys hopefully on Thursday.